Weight training or resistance training is highly effective in increasing strength. In fact, many people call it strength training. If you want to be strong, pump iron. Now, if that doesn't motivate you, there's more. When you increase strength, you recruit more muscle fibers into active duty. Well-conditioned muscles may have up to 90% of fibers active, while deconditioned muscles may have as few as 60% active. The more muscle fibers you have active, the more calories you burn, even at rest. Your metabolism, the rate at which you use up calories, is strongly related to how much muscle mass you have. Now wait, there's more. The greatest bone density is seen in those people who weight train, because muscle tugging hard on bone enhances the deposition of calcium into those bones. You need more incentive? Well, strength training, especially in the trunk muscles, is very effective in reducing back pain. And yet more, weight training improves overall athletic performance. And more, weight training lowers cholesterol. I'll explain as we work out. But listen, first you've got to take 5 minutes and just warm up. Walk around the block, grab the bike and tootle up the street. Do a load of laundry, or at least put it in if you have to walk up and down stairs to get there. Just big systemic blood flow, big muscle groups moving. See you back in 5.
You know, Charlene tried to get me interested in weight training for years, but I have to admit, it just seemed boring. But after all of these benefits that I keep hearing about, boring. Boring. But after 10,000 benefits, I figured I had to give it a try. And you know what? Even my puny little upper body has developed muscles. Look at them. Look at that. And if my non-muscle body can do it, so can you. So join us and get hooked.
She's been really religious.
I have been
really
3 times a week.
Every other day. Yeah,
I have.
We're going to start out with these big hamstring muscles in the back of your legs. You need to give me a hard pelvic tilt. Now that's too hard. So back it off to neutral. And now, make sure your weight-bearing knee is just a little bent and lift. Up and down and down. Up and down and down. Are you with me?
We're with you.
Okay, then I'm starting to count. 1 and 2. Now, when you get tired, what happens is you tend to lose that pelvic tilt a little bit and start to arch your back. And that's what we don't want. When that happens, you need to just stop or take off some weight, because it's critical that you hold that pelvic tilt. Ooh, and one more. Good. And done. Take a break.
Well, actually, that's true in a lot of weight training, isn't it? It's the old back arch that happens.
That's a very common way to compensate, to lose it, to let this happen. Give me that pelvic tilt real hard, or it's too hard. Back it off to neutral. Weight-bearing knee just a little bent, and we lift. Up and down and down. Now you bring that heel just as near your rear end as you can. And don't worry if it doesn't touch. Mine doesn't either. Let me show you one other landmark. I would like both thighs to stay vertical. Sometimes this happens when you get tired. You pull that working thigh forward. Try and keep it right vertical, parallel with the weight-bearing leg.
I'm sure this is the last one.
Done. Okay. Now, we're going to go from the back of your legs to the front of your legs. These big quadricep muscles, it's a huge, powerful muscle group. Get some weights. We'll do 1/3 squats. look something like that. Here are the landmarks. You want to make sure that you don't look like this, that your knees don't go out farther than your toes. So get your toes farther apart. You with me? We're counting then. Here's one. It's as though there were a stool underneath you, kind of a little milking stool, and you were just going to sit down on it. You need to observe this rule, that you don't take your bum lower than your knees. And in fact, we're not even going quite that low. So can you feel the front of your legs? Can you feel your quadriceps? When you come up, don't lock your knees. That's it.
Yay.
That's 10. That's 10. Now look, these big quadriceps are useful to you in lifting. So just before we work the back hamstrings again, I want you to practice lifting. Take one leg down in a kneeling position. Now you're going to put something down on the floor and then you're going to gather it up. You gather it though with your trunk straight. Don't bend over here in the back. Bend over from your hips. Bring the load right to your core. Use those powerful quadriceps and stand up. Try it again. Down you go. Use your strong arms to lower it down. Bend at the hips. Gather it up again. Bring it to your core. Stand up. Try the other leg. You'll probably have a favorite leg, but you might get in a pinch, a tight spot where you have to use the other one. Careful that this is not happening. This is how you don't want to lift. Ow! All right, bring it and lift. One more time, down you go. And if you're tired or this is not your best leg, see if you can bring it up and manage to push with that.
Yeah, but it does make it easier, doesn't it?
If you're going to move this weight, don't lift and twist at the same time. Lift straight up, move your feet to move that weight. Okay, put it down in good form. We've got one more set of hamstrings. Get your pelvic tilt, back it off to neutral, and lift. Mind the weight-bearing leg that she's not locked. Here is repetition 2. And here's 3. Well, do you want to hear about the cholesterol and weight training?
I sure do.
The good news just keeps coming, doesn't it?
It's quite amazing, actually, how weight training's wonderful for everything.
It really, you know, muscle mass is a desirable tissue. It works well for us. Here's the last one, and switch legs. Mind your trunk. And a little bit of a bend in that weight-bearing leg. We lift up and up. Well, the University of Northern Colorado investigators analyzed 11 studies, and they found that weight training lowered cholesterol by an average of 4%. Now, the news gets even better. It lowered the bad stuff, the LDL cholesterol, by 13%. And it raised the good stuff, one more. It raised the HDL, the good stuff, 5%.
Oh, that's a lot better news.
That is better news. Okay, we got to move back to the quads, and we'll do sitting leg extensions. You just lift up and lower down. Keep these thighs parallel. There's the third one. Well, other studies had shown that HDL might be increased as much as 10 to 15%, and other studies had also shown that LDL decreases could be as much as 30%. And you know, but I think
it's 10.
This is 10. You know, we've got just the right weights because you're coming to failure on the 10th rep. Okay, here you go. We'll count number 1. So what I'm saying is there are many studies that have looked at this issue, and these people at the University of Northern Colorado, I think, were prudently conservative in their analyzing of the data, and it's still great news.
That is gold.
And what's even nicer, you know, is that this worked in people who have elevated cholesterol. Done.
We're glad to
You
hear.
deserve a stretch. I mean to say, who else would you want it to work in? If your cholesterols are elevated, you hope that this would work for you. There is not much effect if your cholesterol levels are at normal or at low. So it's perfect. It worked for the right people. Quadricep stretch on the floor or on the step. If you're on the floor, you need to bring that hip up. Debbie, show. That's it.
Pelvic tilt.
That's right. A real hard pelvic tilt. On the step, you just get
wonderful.
in position.
really
The
feels
stretch
great.
is so intense. Okay, how about the other side?
Because I can really feel it just on the floor.
Well, and you really feel that stretch after you've worked a muscle group to its max. Then it's really contracted hard. You know, it's also convenient in these studies that they looked at. These lowering cholesterol benefits were brought on by the kind of weight training we're doing. You know, light to moderate
Being
weights.
half of the Olympic weight trainer.
Yeah, well, that's not your
Mr. Muscle
deadlift. So, and I'm glad of that because the risk of injury soars when weights get really massively heavy. How about the hamstrings in the back? Let's just give them a quick stretch. If you come down with one knee bent and the other leg up, we want to train at a level where you feel muscular failure or muscular fatigue at 10 or 12 reps. How do you recognize muscular fatigue? Burn! How about burn? And you don't have to work through that. If it gets uncomfortable, you've made it. You're there. You've won the race. Okay. Now, we're going to do abdominals. We're going to do reverse curls first. I want you to just hold your legs tight here. Full flexion in the hips, full flexion in the knees, just like a dead bug. Get rid of your hands so you can't cheat. And then you're going to contract your belly muscles, and your bum, your pelvis will just barely come off the floor. Try it with me. We go up and down, up, and now to time, up and down. There's 1, 2, and down. Don't hold your breath. 3, and down. It is, yeah, it is.
Make sure you breathe.
Contract, release. Contract, release. 4 more. How you doing?
I'm starting to feel it.
This really helps work the lower fibers. And those are the fibers of the abdominal muscles that really are stressed and stretched in pregnancy. Last one.
Oh, good.
Okay, take a rest. Now, if you're on a step, I would suggest you move out to the floor. In those movements, these muscles were movers, prime movers. Now they're going to be stabilizers. Let me show you this one. You're going to bring up one leg, and it's just going to be the stabilizing leg. Thigh is vertical. You bring up the second leg, thigh is vertical. Now, here's what you don't want. You don't want arching under here. You want that back flat on the floor. You have to pull your belly in, abdominal brace. This moving leg is going to come out and back and up. So start with me. First of all, pull your belly down. Pull your navel right through your belly onto the floor. Bring up a stabilizing leg. Bring up the working leg. Down, out. Back. Here you go. Here's 1, out, back, up. 2, out, back, up. How you doing?
I like this one.
Oh, but you have to work hard on the belly.
Yes, I'm pulling down.
Now, if you feel like your back is starting to arch, here's how you bail out. this stabilizing leg, you just put down on the floor. And it's so much easier. One more. One more for good measure. Hug your knees. Whoa.
Oh, that feels good.
Okay, try the other side. Now, it's maybe a little harder because those muscles are already a little fatigued from stabilizing for that one that's moving. Ready? Why don't you put your fingers under here and mash them down with your back and make sure they stay mashed. We go down, out, back, up. Count 1. Count 2.
Whoa. You're right, this side is harder.
Your brain should be focused on your back, on your trunk. Just let that leg move on its own. Now concentrate. Come on, guys. Keep your back down. Out. And out, back, up. Down, out, back. One more. Down, out, back, up. Whoa. Whoa. All right, here's another one. This is stabilization again. You're gonna get both legs vertical. This won't do. This is losing it. This is a back arch. Keep your back down by virtue of contraction in your belly. Alternate heel taps. That's it. Just alternately tap down. And think about your belly. Count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh my goodness, hug your knees. Don't hold your breath. It's very tempting to hold your breath when the going gets tough. All right, back to the use of our abdominal muscles as big movers, as prime movers. Feet on the floor, knees together. A little overload from weights if you want. Put them here, put them here. Forward curls. And we lift. Up and up and down and down. Count 2 and up. Now, think about exhaling as you lift. And think about pulling your belly down. Pulling that belly down engages the transverse abdominal muscles that go right around your belly, sort of like a cinch belt. And when you can pull them in, it stabilizes your back. Last one, up and up. And down, and down. Okay, the concentric work is done. You know, when you lift, it's concentric, the muscles shorten. When you go back, when you lower, it's eccentric. Now we only do eccentric. Have a look. It goes back, 2, 3, 4, up, 2, 3. Try it with us now. Lower, lower, just wind down your spine. Day, let's see you do that one.
Oh, can you tell you two are in better shape than me?
3, 4. Okay,
bottom.
You're reaching the point at which your strength runs out, Dee. And you're just kind of flopping back at that point. When you get to that point, put your hands down and bail out.
Good.
And over time, you'll get stronger. Now, put your hands down. That's it. And bail out.
Otherwise I flop.
And back, 2, 3, 4. Up, 2, 3, 4. Now you really have to think about rolling. Eccentric work is highly effective in creating strength. 2 more. Back, back, roll, roll, and up. Here's your last chance. You want to think about one little vertebra at a time. And up. Good work. Roll over, Beethoven. We're going to work these back muscles and back extensions. Unassisted, assisted. It looks like Dee and Renee with hands to help. Up and up and down and down. Try and keep your neck in neutral. So look at the floor just beneath you, just so you don't crank your neck back. And you can really feel those little erector spinae in your back working. Here you go. Last one and done. Do you feel that?
It feels good to me. I like it.
Time to go to work on the upper body. Grab a weight. Let's try some bicep curls. You're gonna lift up, up, down, down. Let's call it 1. You know Barbara Drinkwater. Have you read any of her stuff?
No,
well,
I haven't.
she's a PhD, and she is truly one of the world's most respected experts in the field of exercise and bone development. And she says that young bones aged 4 to 16 are the most amenable to benefiting from exercise-induced.
Last one, Charlene.
Oh, good, thanks. Boy, you never miss. Other side, up and up. Here's 2. Those are the years when the bones profit most from exercise in getting calcium to
But you
deposit.
wouldn't want those kids to
when
be
you're
doing this
growing.
sort of stuff,
No,
right?
no, absolutely not. No, not until girls are 14 and guys are 16, secondary sex characteristics. But the point is, that's such a golden opportunity. Any kind of physical activity. One more?
Sure, rollerblades, cycling, playing soccer.
Absolutely. Backlot baseball. Ready? Second set. We lift. Up, up, down, down. And you know, no one can promise you that having calcium in your intake and exercising, weight training will absolutely prevent osteoporosis, because there's such a significant genetic factor, and Renee, as a geneticist, would know that.
A gene has just been discovered for
Last one.
osteoporosis.
Oh,
A
can I
vitamin
be
D
tested?
receptor gene.
Other side.
Not the only type, of course.
Other bicep. Ready? This last set for bicep. Up and up. Well, apparently 60 to 80% of your bone density is genetic, leaving only 20 to 40% environmental, that is, nutrition and exercise. So people like me, whose maternal family history has a lot of hip fractures, dowagers, humps, you know, we have a history of osteoporosis.
And then you have lean bones too.
And I have small bones to begin with. I have to really start working to manipulate that environmental percentage.
Good.
And done. If we work the front, we work the back. Grab a smaller weight, I'd suggest. Pick your face.
So.
You're kidding. Oh, you can't do the same weight on triceps that you do on biceps.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
Always.
Well, then that just tells me you're underworking your biceps.
Well, this could be. My biceps are not my strongest.
Let's count this 3. And out and down. Out and out. And back and down. Out and out. Whoa. Now, nothing is happening except extension of the elbow. Your upper arm stays still. You just straighten your arm. That was it? Yeah. This is it. This is it.
Oh, okay.
Whoa. Merciful heaven. You don't have any trouble knowing where your triceps are. Okay, ready? We extend out and back and in. So, look, here's my strategy. I'm weight training regularly. Okay, I'm drinking lots of milk, skim milk,
good.
always have. Got plenty of calcium. That's about as much as I can do. When I reach menopause, I'm gonna have a bone density test, and if my bones look fine, I won't do estrogen replacement therapy. I will have a bone density test regularly. You sure?
Oh, I think so. I think she knows. I think I feel it.
Merciful heaven. I can really feel those triceps working. I'll have to have a bone density test real regularly, and my strategy is it's deltoids. Just lift backwards, back, and down, back and back and down. I'm not going to have estrogen replacement therapy until a test shows me that I need it.
Smart.
Smart? Mm-hmm. Good, I'm glad you agree. Now check back in 5 years and see. Right? See if I've changed my tune.
It's always changing.
Yep, and you really have to stay right on top of it.
Oh, you do.
Last one. Back and down and down.
Like the latest Renee was talking about.
We have another set of triceps. They're gonna get harder. Have a look here. Your rhomboid muscles pull your shoulder blades together. That's what they do. I want you to take one shoulder blade. I want you to contract that rhomboid. We're gonna work that isometrically. We're gonna contract it, hold it there, pick up your weight, and do your tricep with the rhomboid engaged. Are you ready? Okay, pull your shoulder blade up, and now extend and back. Extend.
Boy, as if it wasn't
back.
hard enough last time.
And three.
It's a lot harder.
And 4.
Yeah.
It is harder. And you're really gonna have to focus. And out. And out. Where are we? Somebody give me a count.
I think we've got 3 more.
3 more.
Yay.
And 4.
Ooh. Last one.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, that makes it
one
a lot
more.
tougher.
Suffer through here. Come on. Now, it's the other rhomboid. So tighten that guy up. You got it? You got it engaged there.
Yep.
You're going to pull it to the spine. Get your weight out, out. Again, here's 2. Now, you're going to try and keep that rhomboid isometrically contracted. If you lose it, don't worry. Just hold it on there as long as you can. And concentrate. Think about your shoulder blade. And in. 4 more, guys. Whoa. Hard work. This is the hardest that we'll do today. Last 2.
Is this a promise?
Last 1. Oh!
Well, it was definitely the hardest.
Throw that old tricep back there.
Goody.
And
that
stretch
feels
it.
good, huh?
You press above the elbow. Oh my goodness. That one is really hard. Okay. Got the other one? One more really quick set of posterior delts. Ready? Lift. Back and down. And 2 and down. 3 and down.
How come this set's harder?
Because you're so fatigued. And that's the beauty of doing 2 sets. Those muscles are really stressed. And that's when you see your best growth. Your best benefits. Are we having fun yet?
Oh boy, we know how to
Last
have fun.
one. And down and down. Okay. Well, I think your upper back has certainly been worked. Grab a small weight. Rotator cuff. You're going to get your pelvis right to the front of the step. I hope you're up on something here. Little spot of glue right there on your elbow. Stick it to the top of your pelvic bone and lift up and up. Rotator cuff in the shoulder is a structure that needs to be strong as preventive medicine. So you won't suffer shoulder injuries, impingement injuries when you throw things like throwing a baseball to your kid or doing racket sports, even throwing your hands up to do aerobic dance or step. And the range of motion is quite small here. Man, do I feel that. I'm glad to say that's the last one. Now sit up right here and we'll do deltoids. These guys at the top of your shoulders. It'll be front and lateral. Up and up, and down and down and side and up. And just bring those arms to the horizontal.
Yes. Listen to yourself, Charlene.
I know. Well, now I'm doing it well.
You are. You're doing
But
it very well
for a
now.
long time, I was going way above the horizontal, and Renee just thought I was showing off. I can't do it. Listen, folks, it is just so important to keep our kids moving, keep our girls physically active, and eating enough to produce good menstruation. You know, amenorrhea, loss of menstruation, produces disastrous, irreversible bone loss. And the common cause of amenorrhea is just too little food. Okay, last one. Yike. Now the bad news is we have the other rotator cuff to do. Oh yes, you thought we forgot? Not a chance. And I know those shoulders are getting tired. Okay, glue that elbow right to the top of your hip bone and ready, lift. Up and up. Try and keep your wrist in a neutral position. And very few people are going to lift more than 5 pounds here. This is not a hulking big muscle that has great power potential. 4 more. 3 more. Oh, and I have got 5 pounds, and let me tell you.
You have 5 pounds?
Oh, you really. Well, I couldn't find my 3. Ready? Deltoids. Up to the front. Now turn your palms front when you do the lateral raise. Here it is. Palms down. Palms front. We need to concentrate more on our upper bodies, gals.
Oh, I definitely do. Because I figure with running and cycling, you're getting enough lower body.
Men are glad to work their upper bodies because they do so well there. They have a lot of power there. And that's really where we're weak and need to concentrate. So, for your bones, for your muscles, for your cholesterol, other perks, for your metabolism.
Yeah. For those pretty little definition type muscles.
That's right. You know, diamonds don't look worth a damn on a fat arm.
Surely I can't.
Oh, guys, we're working hard. Last one.
Yes. Okay.
Hey, we're done. We did it. Go get them. Make yourself a good day. Whoa.
Bicep stretch.
Bicep stretch would be lovely. Bicep stretch.
Oh, yeah, I feel good.
Ooh, lovely, lovely. Thanks.
Ooh, good.
You won't believe what happened to me on triceps. Rhomboid triceps. I picked up my 15 pound. And I have to look at it because you have no idea. Now don't forget to warm up before you do this weight training. Just take 4 or 5 minutes and walk around the backyard twice or stand in place like Eric and move all big muscle groups just to get a real good blood flow, a systemic warm-up. See, back to pump iron.
Guys, it's never too late to start a weight training program. The researchers at Tufts University undertook a 12-week training program with some very frail 80 and 90-year-olds. The object of the program was to increase their lower body strength. Results, unbelievable. Some of the participants that entered the program needing it to get around with a walker were able to get around with the use of a cane. Other participants that started with a walker were able to get around with unassisted walking. So hang in, seniors.
Age doesn't matter.
You're
never too old to start. And we start with the buttocks, with the glutes. Here's what you don't want. We don't want a back arch. So right now with me, pelvic tilt hard. That's too hard. Let it off a little bit, bring it back to neutral, like you'd walk and stand. Make sure the weight-bearing leg is a little bent and the working leg goes back and front. Ready? Back and in and in. Back and back. Now you have to think not so much about your moving leg, but about your trunk, about your pelvic tilt.
You really do, don't you? You really have to focus
That's right,
on that
that's
pelvic
the
tilt.
hard part. That leg will move no problem. How's it feel, Diane?
Good.
It's really tempting to arch the back. And when you don't arch your back, your range of motion on the moving leg is very small. This is the last one. Woo! Switch legs. Pelvic tilt, only to neutral. Here you go. Back and in. We'll count 1. Very small range of motion. You don't want a great big donkey kick. You can't get it with those glutes, not in this position.
It's a real subtle little movement, isn't it?
You know, Eric McMaster University here in Ontario, Canada, looked at the same issue, weight training in older adults, and theirs was a 2-year program and on people aged 60 to 80, and they increased leg strength in those folks 30%.
Wow.
That is a lot if you think about it. Mind you, that also says that their legs.
Done? I think we're pretty
close.
close.
That's it. Now we're going to do the second set, however, on those same muscles and get down on the floor with donkey kicks. And that sole of the foot goes straight up to the ceiling. It also says, though, Eric, that their leg strength was probably pretty minimal to begin with.
You've got a ways to go,
Yeah, that's
for
right.
sure.
So, but 30% in elderly folks really is a big influence in their
I was gonna
lives.
say, quality of
really
life
changes their life.
improvements,
And age and gender were of no significance. It didn't matter how old you were or whether you were male or female. That leg's done. Switch
think
off.
so.
Other side. You going?
We're with you.
Here's one. And down.
You know, the nice thing to see is when I've gone back to weight training up at the club now, and for the most part, most of the people are in that age bracket in the afternoon, and it's just wonderful
lovely.
to see.
Yeah, absolutely. It is really our parents, rather than our pre-adolescents, that we should be encouraging to weight train. Because you lose muscle mass with age unless you weight train. It's use it or lose it. That's the last one. Okay, now we've worked the back. We're going to work inside and outside thigh muscles. And I got to strip off some weight here. You can't use as much weight with abduction and adduction as you can with those big, powerful buttocks muscles. On the floor or on a step, wherever you're comfortable.
Do it down from
Down
here.
you go, that's fine. You're going to lift up and keep the lower leg horizontal. This is not what you want. Ready, lift, up and up. There's one good one. Show me another. That's it, good.
That alignment through the hips and knees is really important, isn't it?
Yes, and in fact, if you want to make this a little more intense, drop the foot just a tad below the level of the knees. See how much harder that gets?
Isn't it?
Yeah. Dare you to do them all like that.
That's a challenge. That's good.
Current research really has redefined the meaning of the phrase the weaker sex. That's our last one. When we work these inside thigh muscles, ideally I'd like your foot to be up here in front. Lots of people just don't like the way that feels. don't have the flexibility to get that there. So put it behind if it suits you better. It's just up to you. Find the position that's most comfortable. It's just that here we can isolate the movement just a little bit better. And you're going to lift the inside of your knee to the ceiling. So your knee is facing out front. Do you get me? Call it 1 and down.
I find it better here to back for my body.
Yes, and that's fine. It's just all things being equal, I'd like it in front, and it just doesn't suit a lot of people. So take whatever feels good. You know, it is the women who've always been called the weaker sex, and that's always kind of offended me until I read this research just recently. 40% of women age 55 to 64, that's it. Switch over to the other. Oh, we got to do another set here, actually. We got to do another set.
We almost got away with it.
No, 2 sets, each muscle
Two
group.
sets.
Up and up. Let me tell you this. 40% of the women, 55 to 64, cannot lift 10 pounds. Think about that.
10 pounds?
10 pounds, that's your grandchild. That's a sack of flour.
Absolutely.
That really defines your life. So it is older folks, baby boomers, we got to get our parents weights for Christmas. Here comes your last one. Up and up. Merciful.
Oh, I felt
Can
that
I
last
ever
one.
feel that?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, adduction. Lift, same thing, knee up front, inside thigh to the ceiling. You got it? Here's 10 of them.
That
Coming
second
at ya.
set's where it really happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. And not only in the prime movers, but all the little stabilizing muscles that have already worked to stabilize you in the first set.
Yeah.
They're pretty tired come second
For
set.
the second set, yeah.
And down and down. Now, you know, elderly people can weight train the same way we do, at the same intensity, I'm saying. Switch over. Now we got to do 2 sets this side. You want to make as your goal muscular fatigue by 10 or 12 reps. Up and up and down and down. And then, so that's customized then to your level of strength. And then you kind of up the ante over the months and you lift a little more. Pre-adolescence should not be weight training. Problem is, kids are at risk to injury of their growth plates. Growth plates are at the end of the bone. That's where the bone grows. And you injure those growth plates and you may stunt the growth of that bone. That's the last one. Bottom leg. Ready? Up and up and down and down. Try and keep your knee facing out towards me. So we have to be ever so careful with children. You don't want kids to do formal weight training until they've reached what's called Tanner stage 2 of maturity. And for girls, that's evidenced by the onset of menstruation, pubic hair, underarm hair, breast development. In most girls, that growth is complete by age 14. Last one, switch back, second set, abduction, we lift.
I wonder about gymnasts then, Charlene.
Well,
They
it's
must
a
be
real problem.
supervised, yes.
Not that they weight train. The problem with gymnastics is that their body type requires them to be so thin, you know, that a lot of them don't menstruate because they don't eat enough to have enough body fat to support menstruation.
Right.
Now, in boys, you know, boys develop a little later. In boys, the secondary sex characteristics are arm, pubic, and facial hair. Last one. And that growth is complete by about age 16 in boys. Adduction, counting, here's 10. I gave you a practice one there. Up, third time. So up until 14 for girls and 16 for guys, better just to get them involved in sports and let them learn, you know, the skills of sports.
specific sports skills and focus on other components of fitness, speed, agility, flexibility. How you doing? I've got one more on me. I'm not hearing too much complaining back there. I am the last one. And down. Okay. All right. You deserve it. Weights off, and we'll stretch. Right?
I think we did it to the lower body there. We'll get an abductor and glute stretch 2-in-1 here. You're going to kiss your ankle. Write me a letter if you manage to do that.
Kissing your ankle and dream
And
about
then
it.
draw that leg across your body. If it's way out here, you won't get too much. If you think about drawing it across, that is effective.
Oh, yeah.
You sure feel that? Not a problem.
Oh,
So, if your kids absolutely insist on weight training like mine did before the age of sexual maturity, other side, here's what you do. You make sure they work with light weights, not even as heavy as we do, so that they don't get muscular fatigue in 10 reps. And make sure they're under expert supervision. You don't just let them go to the weight room on their own. They're under the supervision of someone who really knows and has experienced formal education in developing juvenile strength and fitness, because the risk of injury is greater than yours and mine. We best stretch the inside thighs. They're often way too tight.
I'm going to do this from a standing position, just to be different.
Sure. Well, and that has real good advantage for folks who don't like waist, I should say hip flexion. We don't really want you bending at your waist. Here you're going to use your elbows to press your legs apart as you draw your feet together. Now Diane's pulling on the end of the step to pull herself up to her heels. And Eric has just got one leg up. The ankle is in neutral. Show me the ankle not in neutral. Yeah, we don't want that. We want to keep the ankle. And he just leans out over that leg, and you can feel the stretch on your inside thigh. Better do the other leg,
Yeah, I
Eric.
think I will.
Let's get you all even.
You guys get to do both at the same time.
Part of the postural problems that we see in elderly folks and also in women during and just after pregnancy is the rounding of the back, this kind of position, and that means the head juts forward. We're going to work on that right now. We don't want any jutting heads, jutting chins.
I think your accent's coming through there again.
Take your hands clasped behind your head and make war with your hands. Press your head real hard against your hands, and I'm going to count. 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Let it go. Put your hands down, and now retract your head. Just retract it. Don't put your head down. Put your head up. Keep your chin on the horizontal. Okay, let's go to work again. Hands up. Press. 3, 2, 1. You pressing real hard? Let them go. Retract. We are strengthening the neck muscles in the front of your neck. Let's try it one more time while we stretch the neck muscles in the back of your neck, the higher neck extensors. And let it go. And retract. This is PNF stretch, proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation. Just a big fancy word for something that really works. Okay, how's your neck feel? Now, I want you to put those weights on the front of your feet, on the forefeet of both feet. And then we're going to work the anterior tibialis muscle. We're going to do shin contractions. You need to get down here and let your shins work against gravity. And if your knees don't like this tight flexion, put your hands or a towel in there so they won't have to bend so severely. And just lift your toes. Feet flex. Again. Again. And if your weights are heavy enough, you're going to begin to feel that.
No,
Here's
those
4 more.
last 2 exercises, this one, including the neck, I never do them, so.
And you
this is
should,
really good.
and you should.
Yeah,
There's
I'm
one to
guilty.
grow on. Okay, stay right there. Stay right where you are. Move back, and we're going to do some oblique curls for the internal, external oblique muscles. So you lift and twist. Here's 1, and here's 1A. That's it. And you really got to think about twisting as you lift. So those internal, external obliques get the good workout. These are prime movers. We're using them to produce movement. In a little while, we'll use them differently. We'll use them as stabilizers, but right now they're moving. Hang on, almost done. Here's our last one. And done. Now, you need to do your second set of shin exercises. Lifting and lowering. Here's 10 and 9.
I feel this one.
Second set. You want to drop your weights off? Is it too much?
No, hang in there. I feel like
You
I'm not
can-
straining. I'm
on,
working,
Di,
but I'm
you can
not
do it.
straining.
Okay. 2 more, Diane. Last one, and down. Okay, you can take your weights off. Now I want to use those abdominal muscles, and it'll be largely focused on the lower fibers. I want to use them as stabilizers. Let me show you what's going to happen. You're going to pull in your belly, so you abdominal brace. Your back is smack on the floor. You bring up one thigh, vertical, right angle, right angle. That's your stabilizing leg. The other leg comes up, goes down, slides out, momentarily relaxes, and comes back up. What makes this hard is this belly is working like crazy while this leg takes a pause. It relaxes, this is working hard. If you start to arch when you go down, you need to put this stabilizing leg down. Makes it a lot easier. Ready to try it with me?
Okay.
Okay. Pull your belly in. Abdominal braced. Check.
Right.
We're with you.
Here we go. Down, out, and back, and up. I'm going to make it a little bit slower. It's going to go down, and out, and back, and up. 2, down, and out. Think belly. Think low back. Put your hands back under that back, and make sure your back squeezes those hands. If you start to arch, you've got to bail out. You've just got to put that stabilizing leg down. You hear my voice start to quiver?
What do you think?
Because that belly is quivering. And up, hang on. Now, it's getting tough because you're really getting fatigued. 2 more. Down, and out, and back, and up. Last time. Keep your back on the floor. And back, and up. Oh, hug your knees.
Eric, you look quiet. Were you in pain or what?
Are you guys up for the other leg? Shall we? Okay, really hug your knees. That's the rest. All right, we're going to keep it at that slow tempo because it's more of a challenge.
It's tougher, isn't it?
It is. Here you go, the stabilizing leg. And that thigh stays vertical unless you seriously need to have a little help, and then you put it down. Okay, press your low back down. Ready? Here we go. Down, and out, and back, and up. Again, down.
It's when that leg relaxes, that's when you want to.
Absolutely. Because you're
Bail out.
programmed. Exactly.
Yes.
You think, well, if that part's going to relax, this part ought to be relaxing. Oh, no. Down.
Forget it.
And out. And back. And up. My belly is working so hard. You don't need to do 300 sit-ups every day. You need to do a variety of work, and adding this stabilizing work to your abdominal routine is going to be so effective. And up. Here's down, Oh, we
and
nearly
out.
done.
And back and up and down and out and back. One more, gang. And down and out and back and up. Oh. Hug your knees.
And of course you've got to relax your neck and everything
I mean,
too.
really,
Oh.
really. Now, we're going to go back to doing obliques. If you need to, you can go back to this exercise, which we did up here on the step. I'm going to show you a harder one. Try it, see how it feels. The bottom leg is bent, the top leg is straight, with the top leg right in smack in front of the bottom leg. You're going to lift up and up and down.
Oh,
Now,
that one.
it's really hard for men because men have a lot more to lift. They have a much heavier shoulder girdle, more bone, more muscle. Now, this is what we don't want. I don't want to see you rocking around like that. I'd rather see you just bend your legs and start with tiny little crunches like this, rather than have your legs come off the floor. Okay, one more, and up, and up, and down. Ooh.
I'm glad you
Is
said
that
that's easier.
effective? Tell me how effective that is. Try the other side. We'll only do one set of these, having already done oblique curls.
Well, I think I'm going to have to admit defeat on that one.
Ready? Lift. You know, Eric, it's not defeat. No.
That one's a tough one.
You have a wonderful big muscular upper body, and it's just too heavy to lift.
It is. But I'm glad you said so. It makes me feel better.
This one is really tough. Don't hold your breath. Talk to me, so I can tell you're not holding your breath. Okay, how many more reps? 3 more.
The topic of discussion.
Try and pin your feet right flat on the floor. Last one. Oh, this is going to feel wonderful. Do this. Back extension.
Listen, you see, that's the thing about all this. You just need to do stuff that works, and then you don't have to do many of them. It's really effective. Okay, we're moving to the upper back, rhomboids. Grab a little weight if you've got it available, but let me see you try your rhomboid movement with no weights. Leave your fingers on the floor. Look at my upper back. And see if you can pull your shoulder blades together. Now look at my arms. Look at my arms. I'm not going to pull my elbows up. It's not this. It's just shoulder blades. Now see if you can put just a little bit of weight in your hands and do the same thing. And lift up, lower, down. Lift up. Third time. Lift, lower. Lift, lower. And you know, that exercise is really tough because it's hard to isolate those muscles. You just don't often isolate those muscles, not nearly often enough. And we need a lot more strength in our back. We tend to concentrate awfully much on our front, not our back. Last one, and down. Speaking of front, we'll do something for pecs right now. Push-ups. Ready? Go. Down and up. And now you need to keep your trunk rigid. We'll count this third one. And Eric is doing full body push-ups because that upper body musculature now is playing in his favor.
Much
Diane and
happier about this
I are no longer at the advantage. Diane and I will do half push-ups. Are you doing half or whole, Diane?
I'm doing half for this set.
Actually, Diane does really good full body push-ups. Here's the last one. And up and up. Listen, that is just so tough for me. Okay, you get another set of rhomboids. You want to practice one with no weight? Draw your shoulder blades together. Can you feel that skin squishing up around your spine? Okay, grab your weights. Here we go. Lift
up, lower, down. Try and keep your neck in neutral. Don't crank your head up like this. Keep your neck in neutral. You can easily turn to the side, just don't look up the ceiling. Up and up. Hang on, you beginning to feel it back there?
Yes.
Oh,
No
yeah.
joke. Really good. And your posture's gonna be wonderful after this. Wonderful. We're not even gonna stretch these muscles out. We're gonna leave them tight. We want them tight. We want them strong. Leave them. Don't touch them. Okay, let's hit the front. Let's hit the chest again. Let's do some flies. Come down, preferably on something higher than the floor. Piano bench, coffee table, steps, something like that. Put your low back smack against the floor. Take these weights out, not with a severe bend, only a slight bend in your elbows. Okay, and now we're gonna clink them together like you toast glasses. Up and up, and out, and out. Up and up, and out, and out. Count 1. Got it? Count 2.
It's starting to feel like those baker's tin.
I just think it's nice to get a little technique warm-up on the first 1 or 2.
Oh, that's the warm-up.
You give me such grief. And you're so strong. I mean, it doesn't hurt you to do an extra 1.
1 or 2, maybe.
Come on, 2 more. Up and out. Up. And that's the last one. Done. Done. Pecs are done. Now, these guys don't need to be any tighter. God love them, they're tight enough. I just want you to shrug them, get a little blood flow in there. And what I want you to do is stretch them. Okay, here's how you stretch it. Because I promised you we'd stretch the stuff that's too tight and strengthen the stuff that's too weak. Put one hand back there, grab the wrist of that hand with your free hand and tug gently. At the same, this is the trapezius we're stretching. Now, turn your neck away from that trapezius muscle and tuck your little chin in as though you were going to try and put it under your opposite underarm. Can you feel it? I love this one. You should be feeling a stretch.
Feel-good stretches.
That's what you do when you spent 4 hours at the computer, Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Computer Whiz Kid. Okay, try the other side. Oh, yes. Give a little tug with the free hand, gentle pressure. Take it around. And you can kind of play with this and move it around just a little bit. There, it's perfect for me. Just perfect. Okay. Anybody for racquetball?
Squash is the game, sure.
Okay, squash, so I'm out of date.
Paddock tennis.
These wrist extensors, these guys, we're gonna lift it up and down and down. Any sort of racket sports, computer, piano, Diane, ping pong, Forrest Gump, the guitar, all that kind of stuff where you have to do extension of the wrist. Now, Eric had a broken wrist on the left hand, I believe, from childhood, and has difficulty getting full range of motion in that hand. Don't worry. Just get what range of motion you comfortably can. Last one. Give us a stretch. You're going to press on your hand, not your fingers, your hand. Now turn it to the outside and let your little pinky here give a wave to your elbow. Wave to your elbow with your pinky. That's it. Okay. Now, where do you feel the stretch? Have a look. You're feeling it right along there. Okay, try the other side. The pressure goes on your hand. Turn it. And hello, hello. Another set. Ready?
I'm with you.
Okay. That wrist is feeling okay?
Yeah, she's not too bad today.
Already 10 times. She's up and up
I think all this
and
stuff is
down
starting to pay
and
off.
down.
It's getting stronger.
Good.
Did
Yeah.
you lose flexibility too?
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Well, the thing is, when those muscles are weak, You fatigue so fast at the typewriter, at the computer, in racquetball. So having them good and strong plays in your favor. I mean, in part we are doing this because, you know, we want the definition, we want the strength, we want the metabolism. Last one. And a bit of a stretch here. But we also want these muscles to work for us functionally, the way we work in our daily lives. Wrist extensors on stretch, and hey, just give a little salute to your wrist flexors. Press back the palm. Other side, wrist extensors. Give a wave with your pinky, and a salute to your wrist flexors. One last stretch. Back to these neck extensors that help you keep your head in good alignment. If you'll just gently press your head forward and put a little pressure there, and can you feel a stretch at the base of your neck?
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah, well, we need that. Those muscles tend to be a little too short. Feel good?
Yes, that's excellent.
Okay. Hey, you're done. You're done. Go get them. Have a good day. A little pec stretch here.
The physical therapist consultant for Return to Slender is Shona Lowe of Calgary Sport Physiotherapy and McMahon Stadium Physiotherapy Center. Many thanks to our sponsors. Beano, the natural food enzyme that helps prevent gas due to beans, vegetables, and whole grains. Gilda Marks, the exercise wear with the breathables lining. And Rika, the aerobic shoe made for women, by women. Rika, be strong. Weights from Fitness Equipment of Calgary. Makeup by John Cox of About Face. Hair by Jerome and Bees Brady. The It Figures video collection includes Return